The lie you've been told is a word that has been used against you since childhood. Sensitive. It comes disguised as concern or frustration or advice. Stop crying. You are overreacting. Why do you let everything affect you so much? These phrases have been repeated so many times that you started believing something was wrong with you. That feeling deeply was a character flaw that needed to be fixed. But psychology tells a completely different story. Researchers have identified a distinct neurological trait called sensory processing sensitivity. People who carry this trait have nervous systems that are literally wired to process stimuli more deeply than others. Their brains do not filter out information the way most brains do. They absorb more, notice more, and feel more because their neurology is designed that way. This is not a disorder. This is not a malfunction. This is a measurable biological difference that appears in 15 to 20% of the human population. Dr. Elaine Aron, the research psychologist who has studied this trait since 1991, discovered that highly sensitive people have increased activity in brain regions associated with awareness, empathy, and emotional processing. Brain imaging studies using fMRI technology have confirmed that sensitive individuals show heightened neural responses when processing emotional information. Their brains are not broken. Their brains are simply operating with greater depth and intensity than the majority. The tears you have been ashamed of are not evidence of weakness. They are evidence of a nervous system functioning exactly as it was biologically designed to function. The 20% secret: for decades, people who cried easily were dismissed as overly emotional or mentally weak. Psychology had no framework to explain why some individuals felt everything so intensely, while others moved through life relatively unbothered. That changed when researchers began investigating this pattern as a biological trait rather than a personality defect. What they found was striking. Roughly a similar proportion of the human population is born with a nervous system that processes stimuli at a significantly deeper level than the majority. Some studies suggest this number could be as high as 1 in 3 people. None of this is random, and none of it is a choice. This trait exists equally in men and women, though cultural conditioning causes men to suppress and hide it more often. It appears across every culture that researchers have studied. It is not linked to any particular upbringing or childhood experience. People are simply born with this neurological wiring the same way they are born with a certain eye color or blood type. Understanding this single fact changes everything. You are not too emotional. You are not mentally fragile. You are not failing to cope with life the way normal people do. You are part of a significant minority whose brains are built to operate differently. And that difference is not a defect waiting to be corrected. It is a biological reality that science has now confirmed and documented. Your brain without a filter, the human brain, is designed to filter information. Every second, your senses are bombarded with thousands of stimuli, including sounds, textures, lights, movements, and emotional signals from people around you. Most brains have a built-in mechanism that automatically decides what is relevant and what can be safely ignored. This filtering process is called latent inhibition, and it allows people to function without becoming overwhelmed by the sheer volume of incoming data. The brain tags certain information as irrelevant and blocks it from conscious awareness. But your brain works differently. Research from Harvard University found that highly creative and highly sensitive individuals have significantly lower levels of latent inhibition. Their brains do not block out stimuli that other brains dismiss as unimportant. Where most people filter out 90% of what they encounter, your brain treats nearly everything as potentially relevant. The slight tension in someone's voice, the emotional undercurrent in a room full of people, your brain is registering all of it simultaneously. This is why ordinary environments can feel so overwhelming. Your nervous system is processing information at a volume that most people never experience. A busy shopping mall is not just crowded to you, it is an avalanche of sensory data hitting your brain from every direction without any filter to reduce the load. This lack of filtering is also why you notice things others miss entirely. The beauty in small details. It's the pattern that everyone overlooked. The shift in someone's mood before they say a single word. Your brain is not malfunctioning. It is capturing the world in higher resolution. The emotional sponge effect there is a specific type of brain cell called a mirror neuron. These neurons fire not only when you perform an action, but also when you observe someone else performing that same action. They are the biological foundation of empathy, allowing humans to understand what others are feeling by internally simulating those feelings. Everyone has mirror neurons, but research shows that highly sensitive individuals have mirror neuron systems that are significantly more active than average. This explains something you have probably experienced your entire life. So when someone near you is anxious, you do not just notice their anxiety, you feel it spreading into your own body. When you walk into a room where people have been arguing, you sense the tension immediately, even if everyone is smiling and pretending nothing happened. You are not imagining these experiences. Your brain is literally simulating the emotional states of people around you. A study published in Brain and Behavior used functional magnetic resonance imaging to examine how sensitive individuals respond to emotional stimuli. The researchers found heightened activation in brain regions associated with awareness and emotional processing, particularly when participants were viewing images of loved ones. The sensitive brain does not simply observe emotion. It absorbs and replicates emotion at a neurological level. This is why emotional conversations drain you so completely. This is why you need time alone to recover after social interactions. Your nervous system has been working harder than everyone else in the room, processing not just your own emotions, but theirs as well. The depth of processing people who cry easily are often accused of overthinking. They are told they analyze situations too much, that they need to stop dwelling on things, that they should just let things go and move on. What these critics do not understand is that deep processing is not a habit that can be switched off. It is a fundamental feature of how the sensitive brain operates. Research has shown that highly sensitive individuals engage in what scientists call deep semantic encoding. When they encounter information, their brains automatically connect it to past experiences, future implications, and layers of meaning that others never consider. They are not choosing to think more deeply. Their neural pathways are structured to process information at greater depth, whether they want to or not. This is why decisions take longer for sensitive people. While others react quickly based on surface-level information, the sensitive brain is running complex simulations. It is weighing multiple outcomes, considering emotional consequences, and searching for patterns that might be relevant. This process happens largely below conscious awareness, which is why it often surfaces as intuition or gut feelings that turn out to be remarkably accurate. Studies examining brain function in sensitive individuals found increased activation in regions associated with deeper cognitive processing, particularly during tasks that required noticing subtleties. The sensitive brain does not skim the surface of experience. It dives beneath and examines what lies underneath. You have probably been criticized for hesitating when others act quickly, but hesitation is not weakness. It is your brain completing a level of analysis that faster responders are skipping entirely. Why evolution kept you? If sensitivity was truly a weakness, it would not exist today. Natural selection eliminates traits that reduce survival. Organisms that cannot compete die out and their genes disappear from the population. This process has been running for millions of years, ruthlessly removing anything that does not serve survival. Yet sensitivity remains. It persists across generations and across species. Approximately this same percentage of over 100 different animal species display this same trait pattern. That is not a coincidence. That is evolution preserving something valuable. To understand why, consider how ancient human tribes functioned. Every group needed bold individuals who would rush forward to hunt and fight. These were the risk takers, the warriors who acted quickly, without hesitation. But a tribe composed entirely of warriors would not survive long. They would charge into danger without noticing the warning signs. The tribe needed a different type of member. Someone who noticed what others missed. Someone who sensed danger before it arrived. Someone who processed information deeply, enough to see patterns and predict outcomes. This was the role of the sensitive individual. Not a warrior, but an advisor. Not a fighter, but a detector. The one who said wait when everyone else said go. Your ancestors survived because they noticed the storm clouds gathering while others saw only clear sky. They sensed the trap before it closed. Your sensitivity is not an accident. It is an ancient survival system that kept your lineage alive long enough to produce you. The system overload processing the world at this depth comes with a cost. Your brain is absorbing information that other brains automatically discard. Your mirror neurons are simulating emotions that other people walk past without registering. Your neural pathways are running analyses that most individuals never perform. All of this requires enormous amounts of energy. And energy is not unlimited. Think of your mental capacity like a computer's working memory. Most people go through their day using a fraction of their available processing capacity because their brains are filtering out the majority of incoming data. But your system is running at full capacity almost constantly. Every environment you enter adds more data to process. Every emotional interaction requires more resources. Every subtle detail you notice takes up space that others never have to allocate. This is why you reach your limit faster than other people. The coworker who seems fine after 8 hours of meetings is not stronger than you. Their brain simply processed less information during those same 8 hours. You were absorbing every tension in the room. Every shift in tone, every unspoken conflict beneath the surface conversation, or the time the day ends, your system has handled several times more data than theirs. When you suddenly need to withdraw, when you require a dark room and complete silence, when you cancel plans and disappear from social contact, this is not weakness or drama. This is your brain protecting itself from overload. The brain has reached its limit and requires time to clear the backlog. Shutting down is not failure. It is necessary maintenance that allows you to function again tomorrow. Orchid versus dandelion scientists studying sensitive children developed a powerful metaphor to explain the difference between neurological types. They described most children as dandelions. These are the resilient ones who can grow almost anywhere. Plant them in rich soil or a strip of neglected soil, and they will survive just the same. Their development is relatively stable regardless of their environment. Good conditions help them, but bad conditions do not damage them severely. Then there are the orchid children. These are the sensitive ones, whose outcomes depend heavily on their surroundings. In harsh, chaotic, or neglectful environments, orchid children struggle significantly more than dandelions. They wilt. They develop more anxiety, more depression, more behavioral difficulties. For years, researchers focused only on this downside, viewing sensitivity as a vulnerability factor that put children at risk. But the research revealed something unexpected. When orchid children were placed in supportive, nurturing environments, they did not simply match the dandelion children. They surpassed them. The same sensitivity that made them vulnerable to negative conditions made them exceptionally responsive to positive conditions. They absorbed the benefits of good parenting, quality education, and emotional support at a deeper level than their dandelion peers. This pattern holds into adulthood. You have probably spent years blaming yourself for not being a dandelion, for struggling in environments where others seemed fine, for wilting in conditions that everyone else appeared to tolerate. But you were never designed to survive. The sidewalk. You were designed to flourish beyond expectation when given the right conditions. The problem was never your biology. The problem was trying to grow in an environment that was never built for what you actually are. The hidden superpower is understanding that you are an orchid changes how you evaluate your own capabilities. The same neurological wiring that makes you vulnerable to harsh environments gives you access to abilities that dandelions never develop. Your sensitivity is not just a burden to be managed. It is the source of strengths that most people cannot replicate, no matter how hard they try. Your low, latent inhibition means you notice details that others walk past without registering. The small change in a friend's behavior that signals something is wrong before they say a word. The beauty in ordinary moments that others experience as background noise. While most people skim the surface of life, you are living in the full depth of it. Your hyperactive mirror neurons give you a capacity for empathy that creates profound connections with others. People feel understood in your presence in ways they cannot explain. You pick up on what they need before they ask. This is not a common social skill. This is a neurological advantage that allows you to build relationships of unusual depth and meaning. Your deep processing produces insights and creative solutions that surface-level thinkers never reach. Research has confirmed that decreased latent inhibition is associated with significantly higher creative achievement. The same brain that exhausts you is also the brain that generates original ideas, sees connections between unrelated concepts, and produces work that others find remarkable. These are not consolation prizes for a difficult trait. These are genuine cognitive advantages that emerge directly from the neurology you were born with. Your sensitivity is the source of your greatest capabilities. The stigma that's killing us, everything we have discussed, applies equally to men and women. Research confirms that sensitivity appears at the same rate across both sexes. The neurological trait does not discriminate based on gender, but society does. From the earliest years of life, boys receive a different message about their emotions than girls do. Phrases like "boys do not cry" and "man up" become part of their psychological programming before they are old enough to question them. Studies show that parents respond differently to emotional expression in sons versus daughters, unconsciously training boys to suppress what comes naturally. By adulthood, men have internalized the belief that their sensitivity is shameful, that their tears are evidence of failed masculinity. The consequences of this suppression are severe. Men who conform to traditional masculine norms that prohibit emotional expression show higher rates of depression, anxiety, and substance abuse. Research across multiple countries found that men in cultures with greater gender equality cry more frequently than men in traditional societies. The difference is not biological. It is purely the result of what men are permitted to express without social punishment. The most devastating statistic reveals the true cost of this stigma. According to global health data, men die by suicide at nearly twice the rate of women. They are suffering in silence because they have been taught that asking for help is weakness. They are suppressing a biological need because culture told them it was unacceptable. Sensitivity is not gendered, but the permission to express it is. And that imbalance is causing damage that cannot be measured in studies alone. It is measured in lives that end too soon. Stop fixing yourself after everything you have learned. One truth should be clear. Your sensitivity is not after everything you have learned. One truth should be clear. Your sensitivity is not a problem to be solved. It is not a phase to outgrow or a weakness to overcome. It is the fundamental architecture of your nervous system, encoded in your biology from birth. You cannot change it any more than you can change your height or the color of your eyes. Yet you have probably spent years trying. You have forced yourself into overstimulating environments, hoping repeated exposure would toughen you up. You have criticized yourself for needing rest when others kept going. You have apologized for your tears and promised to do better next time. Every attempt to become less sensitive has failed because you were trying to fight your own neurology. That battle was never winnable. The world is not lacking in people who feel nothing. It has enough individuals who can scroll past suffering without a reaction, who can witness beauty without being moved, who can hurt others without registering the impact. Numbness is not in short supply, but the world lacks is people who feel deeply, who notice what matters, who respond to life with their full capacity for emotion. You do not need a thicker skin. People telling you to toughen up are not offering wisdom. They're asking you to become less than what you are. They want you to abandon your neurological gifts so that your depth stops making their shallowness uncomfortable. The goal is not to stop being sensitive. The goal is to stop treating your sensitivity as a defect. The repair you have been attempting was never necessary because nothing was ever broken. The prescription and reframe, accepting your sensitivity, does not mean surrendering to exhaustion. It means learning to work with your biology instead of against it. The orchid does not apologize for needing specific conditions to thrive. It simply finds the right environment and blooms. Your first responsibility is protection. The world will not adjust itself to accommodate your nervous system. You must build boundaries that prevent constant overstimulation. This means saying no to environments that drain you without offering anything in return. It means choosing relationships with people who respect your need for depth rather than dismissing it as inconvenient. Your second responsibility is rest. The brain that processes everything requires more recovery time than brains that filter most information out. Silence is not a luxury for you. It is a biological necessity. Time alone is not antisocial behavior. It is maintenance that allows your system to clear the accumulated load and prepare for the next demand. Your third responsibility is reframing. The next time someone tells you that you are too sensitive, let the words pass without absorbing them as truth. Now understand what they do not. You know, the research, the neurology, the evolutionary purpose behind your trait. Their opinion is based on ignorance of what you actually are. You are not too sensitive. You are accurately calibrated for a level of perception that most people never experience. With a world growing increasingly disconnected, your ability to feel deeply is not a burden. It is precisely what makes you valuable. It is precisely what makes you human.